The NBA has named its reserves for both conferences. They announced the reserves a few hours ago. One of the headlines is that Trae Young did not get in for the Eastern Conference reserves. So he didn't make the All-Star game. There was several guys who were selected over him. Some people feel that this was a snub and Trae deserved to get in there. But I just want to go down a list of the guys who made the reserves over Trae Young. So the first one is Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is having a good season. Plus, he's on a winning team. The Celtics are top 3 in the East. I looked at his numbers. He's more efficient than Trae Young. When you look at his numbers compared to Trae's numbers, he's scoring more points, doing with a higher efficiency. The only thing that Trae Young is doing better than him is getting more assists per game. So obviously that's an easy pick over Trae Young. Pascal Siakam, he's having a great season with the Pacers. He's averaging above 20 a game on above 50% shooting from the field overall. So he's been very efficient this year. So you got to give him credit. I looked at Darius Garland. He plays for the Cavs. The Cavs are obviously winning. They're the best record in the East. His numbers are great. He's more efficient than Trae Young when it comes to field goal percentages from both 2-point range and 3. He's just better. I think he's scoring more points per game than Trae Young, are about the same. So that was the easy pick. Now, the next pick, Evan Mobley. He's scoring less than Trae Young, but he's a much more efficient player. He's getting I think 18 points a game on above 50% shooting. Plus, his defense is out of this world great. He's a huge reason why the Cavs are having this great season. He's a great anchor on the defensive end. And the offense, he's playing a huge role too, having his best offensive season in his career. He's run a lot of plays for their offense, so he's an important contributor on both ends of the court. This was an easy pick over Trae Young. Damian Lillard. I looked at his numbers, and he was shooting a higher percentage than Trae and averaging more points per game. The Bucks are actually playing winning basketball now. They're in 4th place, so that was going to be an easy pick over Trae Young. And then I'm just going to look at the other pick that was over him, Tyler Hero. So Tyler Hero, I looked at his numbers. Same deal. He was averaging more points per game. He was more efficient when it comes to field goal percentage. So that was an easy pick. Miami's 7th in the East. They're a 500 team. So you can't really say that was a travesty, that pick. Then the last pick, Cade Cunningham. This is his first All-Star game. He's having a great season. I looked up his numbers. 25 points a game, 6.4 rebounds, 9.3 assists. That is insane. Granted, he's getting a lot of turnovers, 4.6, but he's more efficient than Trae Young, and his team has a slightly better record than the Hawks. They're 23-24 for 8th place in the East, while the Hawks are in 9th place. I feel like he just edges out Trae Young. He does it. He wins by the margins on that pick. So I have to say, I don't think Trae deserved to get over any of these guys for the All-Star game. All these guys have had better seasons overall statistically. The only thing you can say Trae Young is doing better than these guys is his assists. He's averaging 11.4 assists per game. I think he might lead the league in assists, but the turnovers, you got to always look at the turnovers too. They stand out. 4.7 turnovers, so that's a lot of turnovers per game, I have to say. So it works out both ways, but that's the only thing he can hang his hat on is his assists per game are very high. I think that's really probably the biggest argument he has against these guys, but I don't feel he was snubbed. I just don't. These guys are more efficient than him, and their teams all had better records than his. So just on both ends, I feel he just loses the argument, and he just didn't deserve to get into the All-Star game this year. Maybe next year, just if the Hawks have a better record and he's a little bit more efficient, he'll be able to get into the All-Star game. But, yeah, I don't feel he was snubbed. I think he was rightfully excluded from the All-Star game. And that's pretty much all I have to say about this.